Nick?
Yeah?
Did you know that Von Karma's daughter is only 18, just like me?
Yeah. Why?
I was just thinking about how strong she is. I mean, she's been in Germany all this time by herself, and she's so grown up.
Yeah, and I'm sure she felt a lot of pressure from her father's reputation.
And then you look at me, and, well, I'm the daughter of the master, but I'm still just a little girl. And on top of that, I'm the suspect in a murder trial.
But I think you're really strong too, Maya, for all that you've gone through.
Good morning! The two of you look like you're doing well today. I'm happy for you. Hey, morning, Pearly! You'll be safe today, Mystic Maya.
Huh? What do you mean?
My mother is coming today to show her support.
Yeah, that's right, Pearly. Hey, Pearls?
Yes, Mr. Nick?
Do you think you could do me a big favor? Could you channel Mia today too?
Huh? I was sort of hoping to sit in the audience today and watch.
Please, it's very important to me. I don't feel confident enough without her help.
Mr. Nick, that's enough! You can't show weakness in front of the person you love. Pearly, not this again!
Please, can you do this for us, Pearls?
Alright, I'll do it. I'll do it for Mystic Maya's sake. See you later then. I'll leave you two to your alone time.
Phew, thank goodness. Nick? This way. Pearls won't be able to see today's trial. What do you mean? What's going on? Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Let's start already. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I look forward to tonight's news with great joy. The image of your defeated face will be transmitted all over the world. All over the world, huh? Sounds like you've made quite a name for yourself, Phoenix. Don't be foolish, you foolish fool wearing the foolishly foolish clothes. The famous one is me. I'm the prodigy who has never lost a case since becoming a prosecutor 5 years ago. Naturally, the world's eyes are on me as I conduct my first trial in this country. Uh-huh, that's nice, Miss Von Karma. Glad to see you're in such good spirits today, Miss Fey. It's true what they say. Women really are scary when they fight. Ooh. Now then, a very interesting theory was presented during yesterday's session. That the defendant could have left the channeling chamber, correct? Yes, and this key is proof of that. This key, the only key to the channeling chamber, was not where it should have been. Your Honor, I would like to say one thing before we begin. Alright, let's hear it. The prosecution has determined that from the time of the murder to the time of arrest, the defendant did indeed leave the room at one point. What? Easy. Pardon. But Miss Von Karma, then how do you explain this picture? Are you saying then that the person in this picture is not the defendant? I never said that wasn't the defendant. That wasn't the defendant. Then what is the meaning of this? All I am saying is that Maya Fey, after killing the victim, exited the room. And I believe that is when she drops this key. Can you substantiate your claim? Isn't that what I'm here for? The prosecution would like to call the defendant's aunt, Morgan Fey, to the stand. Just as I suspected, Aunt Morgan. Poor Mia. She seems really torn by this. Witness, name and occupation. My name is Morgan Fey, and I am a spirit medium, in a manner of speaking. I'm sorry, but what do you mean in a manner of speaking? I don't think anyone really cares. Now then, After the murder took place, you kept watch over the defendant, correct? Over the defendant. These. Yes, that is correct. I performed the spirit severing technique on Mystic Maya then. Spirit severing technique? A technique to remove a spirit from a body and send it back to the other world. That is... Yes, that is. You, be quiet. Now, witness. Something happened while you were performing this technique, correct? Yes, that is correct. What in the world could have... Mystic Maya, she escaped from the room. What? And here we come to the heart of the matter. Maya Fey, while in a possessed state, managed to escape from the channeling chamber. Order, order, order! Miss Fey, please testify to this court what happened during that time. Your Honor, I will try my best. I think someone just upped the ante on this trial. No shit, Sherlock. After we heard the gunshots, those two broke the door open and entered the chamber. I requested that Mr. Wright and the other lady please contact the police. A pistol was hanging from Mystic Maya's hand and she was in a daze. Then, quite suddenly, she thrusted me away from herself and escaped from the room. With great strength she hit the base of my neck and I fainted for a short while. I am afraid that I had no knowledge about where she went after that. Why have you hidden this up till now? Why have you hidden this until now? I did not wish to cause more trouble for Mystic Maya. However, I must correct falsities when they arise. That's right. She is simply correcting a falsity, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Why is she making it a point to take a stab at me? Never mind. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. My aunt is a very smart and sly person. It's going to be hard to find a crack in her testimony. Was it really necessary to have two people do something as simple as call the police? If there was a possibility of escape, then one of us should have stayed behind. Yes, that is a very good point. At the time, I myself was a little confused, on top of which, there was another. Another what, madame? Oh, it's nothing. No need to concern yourself. I want to hear the end of that sentence. There was another reason you wanted us both out of the room, wasn't there? You must testify. Why did you chase us out of the room? I simply did not wish for there to be more victims. The lives of both the good sir and the camera woman may be in danger, is what I thought to myself. Well, that was very noble of you, Miss Fey. This is bad. Now people have a good impression of her and a bad one of us. Looks like she caught us napping. That's my aunt for you. Are you satisfied now, Mr. Wright? Miss Fey, please continue. Is that because you're unconscious? Why, yes. Great, well, now what? So, while you're unconscious, you have absolutely no idea where the defendant went. I would think that's obvious, good sir. If that's true, then how can you know for sure that the defendant left the channeling chamber at all? Now that you mention it, I have to wonder myself. It's true that this witness is not able to confirm this. But the key word here is this witness. What do you mean by that? It means she has another witness up her sleeve. That's what. It looks like Miss Von Karma is ready to move on to her next witness. I can't see a crack in her testimony. What should we do? For now, we should try and get more information out of her. After we get more information on her, we may be able to use it later to our advantage. Just now, you said those two. Who were those two people you're referring to? I was referring to that foreign lady and yourself, good sir. Lada's not a foreigner, despite how she talks. Oh, is that so? I'm sorry. I simply could not understand her atrocious English, not to mention she looked awful. I can already see people in the Heart Lane gearing up for a riot. In any case, I have already sent a repair bill to your office, Mr. Wright. Oh, thanks. What did you do after that? What did you do after that, Miss Faye? What did you do after that? I pressed on this. During our investigation, you stated that you struck the defendant on the head, and this strike caused Maya to lose consciousness. Do you stand by the statement? I'm afraid I don't. The statements I gave you was a lie. But why would you lie about something like that? It is very painful for me to say this, however. Objection! The witness was lying to cover for the defendant. She was covering for Maya? So you were covering for the defendant? Well, yes. It was only later that I was informed of what had occurred. The renegade Mystic Maya had done something very unexpected. Something unexpected? What, pray tell, did she... Ooh! This witness didn't and couldn't have seen what happened. If you want to know what this unexpected thing was, there is always later. Yes, very well. Why does it suddenly feel like there's a rock in the pit of my stomach? Now, witness, continue with what happened. Continue with what happened. Left. I'm as bad as usual. Was it really that easy for her to escape from you? I'm ashamed to admit such a thing, however, yes. But you are physically larger and stronger than the defendant. There's no way she could have escaped from you so easily. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Phoenix Wright? What about this picture? Remember that at the time, the defendant was not physically Maya Fey. Ugh. Growing old is such a mysterious thing. Trust me, I know firsthand. Basically, Mystic Maya's body was still that of a nurse. It was still that of the nurse she had called. But if she had run away, wouldn't you have given chase right away? Well, yes, I would have. However... That's enough. From what I can tell, there is nothing wrong with this witness's testimony. And from what she has said, we can establish that Maya Fey did leave the chamber. I hope this isn't going to come back and bite us in the ass. Now, let's take the next logical step and ask, where did the defendant go after leaving the channeling chamber? Yes, that is exactly what we should... Oh! Be quiet, you. Now then, what the escapee had done was she had gone to speak with a certain person. She went to speak with someone? With a certain person. Certain person. Person. The prosecution calls Miss Eeny Meeny, who was sleeping in the side room at the time. Eeny Meeny? I think you can see where this is headed. Witness, name and occupation. Okay, so my name is, like, Eeny Meeny.
I'm like researching like parapsychology stuff at the university.
What is this parapsychology?
Let's see, it's like, I guess most people can call it occult stuff.
Even if that's what most people call it, I can't say I understand what that means. Then I suggest you go home and research it yourself. Yes, sir. Now then, Miss Meanie. After the murder took place, you spoke with the defendant, Maya Fey. I am not consistent in my accent whatsoever. Is this correct?
Well, like, I guess.
If that's the case, then let's hear your testimony. That is all right, isn't it, Your Honor? Yes, sir. For the love of all things good, Your Honor, have some spine. For my sake.
Like, when the channeling started, I was, like, sleeping in the side room. Like, a little later, someone came into the room, like, really suddenly. It was, like, oh my god, totally my sister. I, like, hadn't seen her in, like, so long. I was so happy in, like, a sad way. My sister, she, like, told me something, like, totally terrible.
Now hold your horses, young lady. You're saying the person that entered was your sister? Don't you mean the defendant, Maya Fey? Really now, Your Honor. Maya Fey was still in the middle of channeling at that time. Are you saying that the spirit was the spirit of the witness's sister? Yes, Mimi Meanie. She was a nurse at Dr. Gray's clinic. Oh, well, this is... Witness?
Like, yeah?
In your testimony, you mentioned a terrible thing. Why don't you tell the court what this terrible thing was? I'm sure we'd love to hear about it.
Like, do I totally, like, really have to?
Of course. Miss Meanie, please.
My sister, like, this is what she said to me. It was no accident. I was drugged with sleeping pills. I was murdered by that person. That's why I took my revenge. It's only fair, isn't it, Eenie?
She took her revenge? Are you sure that's what she said?
Yes?
There, are you satisfied, Your Honor? I still can't believe it. I can't believe that the spirit would go so far as to use a medium to get revenge. It is a bit hard to swallow. However, all the evidence and testimonies point to this as the truth. The end. What do you think, Mr. Wright? It certainly seems like all the loose ends are accounted for. I've accounted for. Ugh. This testimony just now, was it all made up? Was it just one huge lie? Of course it was, Phoenix. Mia, what do you mean? It's well constructed, but that's all it is. But even the most well-spun lies can be undone. We can do it, Phoenix. Let's find that one loose thread and unwind this tapestry of lies. Your Honor, there is room for doubt, so the defense will cross-examine this witness. We believe that our cross-examination will reveal the real truth behind this murder. Yet again, the foolish fool spouts more foolishly foolish drabble. I wonder if you'll make this one more entertaining. I wonder if you make this one more entertaining than the last. There.
Like, when the channeling started, I totally already said the stuff. So anyway...
You were happy in a sad way?
Yeah, like, I mean, it was my sister.
But wouldn't most people react here with surprise at seeing a dead loved one alive again?
But, like, maybe if I was, like, someone who didn't know about, like, the occult, but I, like, know all about the Korean channeling technique.
The point here is the witness immediately recognized that it was her sister.
Yeah, like, what she said in her bad accent.
Should I drop this line of questioning? So, you really didn't think anything strange of the whole encounter?
No. Like, there wasn't any reason for me to, like, think anything was strange.
But... Ow! Don't keep badgering her! You know the phrase objection? Could you try using that once in a while? Mr. Wright, this question of what the witness felt when she saw her sister, is it really that important? It is very important, although I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. But I've gotta bluff for now and make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. Alright, Mr. Wright. Miss Meany, please amend your testimony.
Like, okay, I'm, like, totally cool with that. I wasn't, like, scared at all, and, like, her costume looked, like, totally normal.
Can I just present it? Yes. Okay, good. That was a very well spun line, Messini. What are you babbling on about this time, Mr. Phoenix Wright? It's well constructed, but that's all it is. Stealing my lines now, are we, Phoenix? Miss Meany, may I remind you of what you just said? You said that there was nothing strange about your sister's appearance.
Like, yeah, and?
But I don't really think you thought it at all. Take a look at the picture. This is a picture of the sister you met. I would think that even you would be surprised if someone like this appeared before you. The blood spray. Miss Meany, why did you not include the blood you saw in your testimony? If you were really testifying and not lying, you would have noted it right off the bat. Order, Miss Meany, what is the meaning of this? Miss Meany? I'm thinking, don't interrupt me! And what are you stammering about, Your Honor? Well, that witness, her personality did a complete 180 there. Lots of people do that when they get on the stand, though. First of all, calm yourself down, witness.
Like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, like, snap.
Now, hurry up with the testimony. 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 With the testimony. With the testimony. There we go. Hurry up with the testimony. I'm a bit late. If you please. The judge still looks a little shaken up. A lot of help he's gonna be.
Like, the side room was, like, kind of dark, you know? So, like, the costume is, like, purple, right? The blood totally blended right in. And I, like, persuaded my sister it wasn't, like, right to do something like that. And then, like, I took my sister to the channeling chamber.
Yes, now I see. And you have given us a clear reason as to why you didn't notice the blood.
You think? Like, thanks, Gramps.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Wright? All right, I guess not. Very well, you may question the witness. And what was your sister, Miss Mimi, like at the time?
Well, she was, like, totally flipped out because she just shot Dr. Gray. But I think, like, she knew. She, like, said she did something really bad. And, like, she said she wanted to go with me to, like, apologize to Miss Morgan.
Did Mimi's spirit really say all of that to you?
Like, yeah.
Was your sister calm by that time?
Like, I guess so. I guess maybe, like, taking her revenge on Dr. Gray, like, made her feel a lot better.
I'd like to feel a lot better too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The sooner the better, she says with her whip at the ready.
And, like, Miss Morgan was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know?
May I ask you one more thing, Miss Meany?
Like, sure.
Was there anything you found strange, unusual, or just out of place?
Something out of place? Like, what do you mean?
When you... I'm talking about when you were going to the channeling chamber, of course.
Like, no, nothing strange.
She answered rather quickly. Now what? Think harder. I know you can remember something.
I, like, totally can't.
That's not good enough. You have to explain yourself clearly to this court. Do you think, Mr. Wright, that whether or not there was something odd on the way to the channeling chamber is all that important? I ask because it is very important. Not that I know where I'm going with this. Very well. Miss Meany, if you will, please include a statement about this in your testimony.
Like, I don't get why, but okay. I, like, didn't see anyone on the way to, like, the channeling chamber.
You say that you didn't see anyone on the way to the channeling chamber. However, that is impossible.
Like, what do you mean?
I'd like to introduce someone to you. This is Miss Morgan Fay's daughter, Pearl Fay. Interesting. You have a semi-intelligent look on your face. So, what about this child? It just so happens that at the time of the murder, Pearl was playing in the center garden.
The garden?
Yep. Which means anyone walking through the area would have had to have seen her. So, Miss Meany, what do you have to say to that? As the court can see, she's a bit of an airhead. Also, she was leading her sister at the time. Do you honestly think she would have noticed a simple child playing? Preposterous! It's not preposterous, and I can prove it. What sort of foolish? There is no way someone walking along the winding way could not have noticed Pearl. This urn is my proof. An old cracked clay pot? What is that going to prove? Do you know why it's cracked? It's because Pearl broke it, that's why. She broke the urn? Why do I feel like you're about to ruin my beautiful day? This urn was broken around the time the channeling started. Ah! And Pearl was the one who put it back together, while sitting right in the middle of the winding way. What? What?
That was better.
What? Put in that picture of the minion just going, what? Do it. Do it now, Kevin. Miss Meanie. Pearl was there in the winding way at that time. She was hard at work putting the pieces of the urn back together, you see. If you couldn't see that while you were walking, I'd have to declare you legally blind. I think I have sufficiently proven one thing, Miss Meanie. You are a masterful liar. Mr. Wright, you need to watch what you say. The one who needs to watch what she's saying is the witness. So, Miss Meanie, tell us the truth. About what? About what? About what? About where you really were at the time of the murder, of course. The witness just testified about that. But that's right. I was, like, sleeping in the side room. Can I really believe her? Was she really sleeping in the side room? Your lies end there. What do you mean? The witness says that during the actual murder she was asleep in the side room, and I say that's not possible because there is clearly a contradiction there. A contradiction? Where is this contradiction? Earlier in your testimony, Miss Meanie, you made this following statement. And, like, Miss Morgan was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know? It's true that at the time, both myself and Miss Hart were not there. We had gone to call the police. So? Like, what does that have to do with anything? It's very simple. Miss Meanie, how did you know that fact? How? I concede that Miss Faye was the only person in the channeling chamber. However, someone who was asleep in the side room could not have known that. Which means, Miss Meanie, you did in fact go to the channeling chamber. However, you didn't go there by way of the winding way. But look at the Manor Guide map. If one were to go between the side room and the channeling chamber, one would have to use the winding way. Yes, that's right, Your Honor. Which is why I asked this very important question. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Miss Meanie, please answer the question.
Don't ask the question off of a baseless assumption, if you please.
Well, I suppose since you've put it out on the table, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you might as well answer the question for us. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Now's your chance, Phoenix. Yeah, the only person who could have killed Dr. Gray was Eenie Meenie, so now is the time to prove it. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Where was the witness when the murder took place? Miss Meanie was here, of course. But that's the channeling chamber? Isn't that the crime scene? That's right. Miss Meanie was at the scene of the crime. Order, something about I didn't hear that line in the slightest because I was looking somewhere else. I'm sorry. Mr. Phoenix Wright, have you lost your mind? Yesterday's testimony established that Only the victim and the defendant were in the chamber when the channeling started. Yes, that is correct. Please explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Simple. Miss Eeny Meeny was hiding at the scene of the crime. I was hiding? Where was I hiding? Here, of course. Behind the folding screen? Don't make me say this again. Recall yesterday's testimony. There ain't no way anyone was hanging out behind that folding screen. See? You stupid jerk! Quit being so quick to pin it on me, you slime ball! No then, Miss Beanies. One as young as you shouldn't be saying... Shut it, Gramps, as if you know exactly how old I am. I'm sorry? Looks like the pipe's about to burst. I guess I should help it along. The witness was hiding behind the folding screen with the help of this. Miss Meany, how you were able to hide at the scene of the crime is very simple. You were hiding inside this box. Ah! That tiny little box? No person could fit in that. Sorry, but your theory has already been disproved. Lana disproved you when she was hiding from me in it. But that clothing box was in the side room, right? Which means it has nothing to do with the murder at all. That's right. I was sleeping there, so I should know. That clothing box was there in the side room the whole time. Mr. Wright. Do you think you can prove where the clothing box was at the time of the crime? And now I present a piece of evidence that will prove this clothing box was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. Take a look at this clothing box. You're so stupid, as if there's any sort of evidence in it, old thing. What on earth? Ugh. I don't have time for you to sit there surprised. Hurry up and say it already. There's a hole about 8 inches off the ground. A hole about 8 inches off the ground. Where have I heard that before? The folding screen. It had a hole at the same height. That's right. I hope this has opened your eyes to what happened. At the time of the shooting, the clothing box was sitting behind the folding screen, which is why the bullet from the pistol hit both the box and the folding screen. It went through the screen and then into the box. Ugh. Miss Meany, you were hiding behind the folding screen, waiting for your chance. Yes, for your chance to kill Dr. Gray. Ah! I can't scream right now, I'm sorry. Order, so what you were saying? Then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, what about this picture? Are you saying that the person in this photo is Miss Eeny Meeny? That's exactly what I'm saying. Miss Eeny Meeny, you are hiding inside this clothing box all along. And you wore a medium's costume to masquerade as Maya Fey. To masquerade as Maya Fey? She had it planned from the very beginning. She would kill Dr. Gray and pin the blame on my client. No, stop! I can't stand to listen to any more of this foolishness. If that's the case, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I have a proposition. This whole idea that the witness moved the clothing box to the crime scene, pretended to be the defendant, killed the victim, and then fled the scene of the crime. It's not possible for one person to do that all by herself. I'm sure it's possible if you were to try. Why did I click that? Ow! I don't want to hear if. If you're going to give me if, then give me some proof along with it. Where did Eeny Meeny get the costumes then? How about the wig? I wasn't talking about that exact point. I meant people, humans, if we want to do something bad enough, then... Why'd I do this? That's enough! Beyond simply proposing that it's possible for one person to commit this crime, it is the duty of a lawyer to back up his or her claims. Yeah, it's your duty! I fucked up, I'm sorry. If you can't do that, your proposition falls flat. Yeah, it totally falls flat! Why do you have to hurt me so? It's alright, Phoenix. Huh? It isn't possible for one person to commit this crime, but... That's right! I clicked the wrong thing, I'm sorry. It really is impossible for one person to do all the preparations to this. Ow! Need I remind you, the foolish receive no mercy. The foolish receive no mercy. Wait, Miss Van Karma, you said it was not possible for one person, correct? Oh wait, I clicked the right thing, okay. What? You can't be serious. Miss Meany, you had an accomplice. This person? If it wasn't someone from Karine Village, you couldn't have gotten the costume. And if it wasn't someone from the Fae household, you wouldn't have that box to use. Wakan Fae? Isn't that the wonderful lady witness we had earlier? What do you have to say to this, Miss Meany? You shot Dr. Gray with your own two hands. Do you deny it? I made a noise. That wasn't a scream in the slightest. I think this is what really happened. The murderer had planted herself at the scene of the crime long beforehand. Dressed in a medium's costume and wearing a wig, she pretended to be the defendant. And then, the channeling started. The murderer crept silently towards the other two, both of whom had their eyes closed. First, she drugged Maya Fey with a strong sleeping agent. Then, she stabbed Dr. Gray with the knife. Next, she hid my client inside the clothing box. She did that so she could take Maya's place and frame her for the crime. But that's when something unexpected happened. Unexpected? Yes. Dr. Gray was not actually dead yet. With the last of his strength, he fired a shot towards his attacker, and that is why the hole in the folding screen was so low to the ground. The murderer then took the gun from Dr. Gray and... After that, you and the other lady fought to break into the room. Yes, a gunshot is certainly something you wouldn't expect to hear. Which is why, upon hearing the shots, we forced our way into the channeling chamber. Miss Meany, she immediately covered her own costume with blood. And pretended to be Maya Fey. But that sort of deception would have been easy to see through! Which is precisely why Morgan Fay chased us out. Please leave this area to me. Go quickly and inform the police. Hurry, before there are more victims here. What is one supposed to say? This is the real truth behind this murder. Who is that, laughing at a time like this? You simple-minded fools. I'm sorry, are you still by chance evolving? What is it this time? Miss Von Karma? Surely. Of course it was me. Do you really think someone of Von Karma blood would lose to something this petty? What in the world? Mr. Phoenix Wright, your argument is flawed in one very crucial area. And that is, if this witness is the real murderer, why would she go through all this trouble? Huh? Working together with a medium, pretending to be one, putting on this whole act. What reason would she have to do such foolish things? No, it's foolish things, definitely. Oh, well, that's, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Oh, and one other thing. Why would Miss Eenie Meenie want to kill Dr. Gray? Where is her motive? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say too. Yeah, motive. I don't have a motive. A motive? I can't say she has no motive here. I have to think of a motive now. What is her reason for wanting Dr. Gray dead? The reason you wanted Dr. Gray dead is this. Huh. Just as I thought. You bore me with your silly answers, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Misters. Just great. Now even she is calling me by my full name. You think I did this to get revenge for my sister's death? Yes! Because through that accident, you suffered a lot of hurt and pain yourself. Don't be stupid. No one has proved that Dr. Gray drugged my sister, right? And you want to say I wanted to take revenge based on nothing? What do you mean by that? Senile, stupid Gramps. I'm, going to explain, so, please listen, okay? It's been over half a year since I was discharged from the hospital. If I, wanted revenge, then, I wouldn't have waited this long. And besides, the guy that thought that the spirit thing was, Dr. Gray. It was, a total coincidence he asked me about it, you know? She's back to her airhead self. However, you see, ow! Pathetic, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You failed to support your own theory. The end. I think we have our answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What Miss Meanie has stated is very true. The revenge plan is overly complicated and she has no motive in the first place. Furthermore, there is no reason for Miss Morgan Fay to cooperate with this plan. You don't even have any truly decisive pieces of evidence to demonstrate your point. So many faults, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You should really learn your place. Ugh. What happened? I thought I had her for sure. See, that's what I, told you. I'm going to serve you a slice of humble pie. Very well, I now conclude the cross-examination of Miss Eenie Meenie. Your Honor, please allow the defense one more minute. All right. You can't lose here. Have faith in yourself, Phoenix. Mia. Yes, it does sound a bit ridiculous. It does sound like a ridiculously messed up plan for a murder. But you know, regardless, that girl trained for this crime. Really? Listen, Phoenix. Everything happens for a reason. There is a reason for why she had to kill Dr. Gray, and it is also the reason she had no choice but to kill him in this fashion. Time is up, Mr. Wright. Your final answer, please. If you want to say that you can prove Miss Meanie had a motive, then why did she kill the victim in this way? Can you provide the reason? Can I? Can I really do this? I am not totally confident here, but I know that I must press on no matter what. That's right, Phoenix. Only you can do this now. I will show and substantiate the fact that Miss Meany had a motive.
Too bad, you're too late. My cross-examination is already ended after all. Ah!
Interesting. I'll let you have your chance, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What?
You're supposed to be on my side.
Ah!
Avon Karma only cares about the perfect win. As long as you have the will to fight, I will knock you down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And I don't care if you are my witness, so help me, I will blow you out of my way.
No way.
Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. We will continue the cross-examination after we reconvene.
Hey, wait a sec!
The next part should not take too long. Believe me. Hang on, I put the earphones in the wrong way around.
Is it really true about my aunt?
I'm afraid so, Maya. There is no way Enid could have killed Dr. Gray by herself. And under the circumstances, there's no one else other than your Aunt Morgan.
That's terrible. Why? Why would my aunt?
Everything is going just as I predicted, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Miss Von Karma! Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to take revenge on Nick? Nick had nothing to do with what happened to your dad.
Don't you have something better to be worrying about? Say, your own situation?
Looking down on me even though we're the same age.
Are you done yet? You've caused me enough pain and suffering. Not yet. My goal is to defeat you and let the whole world know of your defeat. But even if you do that, it won't bring your father back. Whatever. In the meantime, let's bring this match to its conclusion. And then we'll know who the real winner is. Court will now reconvene, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Can you prove Miss Eenie Meenie had a motive? Yes, I believe I can. Eenie Meenie and Dr. Gray have only one point of connection, and that is the car accident 1 year ago. The motive I'm looking for must be there. Miss Meenie, please testify to the court about your car accident last year.
Huh? I thought, you wanted to, ask about my, motive. I, don't see the point in, bringing up the past.
Miss Meenie, if you please.
Okay, I totally don't think it'll do any good, but... That was, last year in May. Something really bad had, happened at my sister's clinic around then. And, the night of the accident, my sister was, totally tired out while she was driving. I was, totally pooped too, so I, fell asleep in the passenger seat. I, woke up because of a jolt, and, it was a sea of flames around me. I, opened the door and, got away.
I think I've heard of this incident. It was all the talk on the tabloid shows day after day last year. Yes, and there was talk about Dr. Gray drugging your sister. Ugh! Those were merely rumors. Totally baseless gossip. Yes. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Right now, it's impossible to prove that Dr. Gray did in fact drug Miss Meanie's sister. Yeah, which means I'll have to work this from another angle. She was totally tired? You mean exhausted?
Like, she had to talk to the police and, like, was being investigated, like, every day. It was, like, a totally terrible situation.
It's no wonder then that the car accident happened, huh? So then, why didn't you ask to switch places?
Huh? Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, switch drivers. If your sister was so tired, then you should have switched with her. True, true.
But, like, I don't, like, have a driver's license.
This is news to me. I was not aware you didn't have your license, Miss Meanie. Miss Meanie, please amend your testimony.
Like, okay, anyway.
Miss Meanie, that was a lame lie just now. Lame? Phoenix, you shouldn't say things like lame. That was a terrible lie just now.
Like, what do you mean?
I know you had a license back then. This is a photo you took for the express purpose of getting a driver's license. What is the meaning of this, Miss Meanie?
That's right. Yeah, I had, like, a license, but
I didn't get it until after the accident. No, you had it. You had it at the time of the accident. Director Hottie, or the guy pretending to be him anyway, said so.
What, are you talking about that perverted fake clinic doctor?
Yeah, that perverted fake clinic director, and how do you know he was perverted? Ow! No one cares. Witness, when did you receive your driver's license?
Like, last November?
What? November? The accident happened last May. That's a half-year lapse in time, Mr. Phoenix Wright. That's a half-year lapse in time, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What in the... That's what happened, Mr. Wright. At the time of the accident, Miss Meanie did not have a driver's license. Ow! Cry and my VIP will accommodate. VIP will accommodate. Anyway, without a license, the witness and her sister could not have switched drivers.
I'm, like, glad you get it, but, like, even if I had my license, I, like, don't think my sister would have, like, let me drive.
Ow! Don't just stand there humming to yourself. Not you too, Mia. With the whip, and the pain, and the ow! Miss Meanie, why do you think you would not have been allowed to drive anyway?
That's because...
I think the situation calls for a more detailed testimony.
Like, how annoying. Oops, like, sorry, I didn't mean to be mean. Like, around the time I was, like, really close to getting my license, Mrs. was, like, this totally big fan of cars and, like, really valued them. She, like, had just gotten this really shiny bright red sports car. She, like, would say things like, "No way am I letting a noob drive my car." So, like, that's why I ended up in the passenger seat that night, too.
I see. A bright red car for sports. Now then, the defense may question the witness. I'm not terribly knowledgeable about cars, but... According to the thing I have to ask about the cars... It was a new car?
Yeah. She had, like, just gotten it. It was, like, from the UK.
The UK? Was that her boyfriend's initials?
And it was a really special model. She had waited for a whole year for it to arrive.
I guess her love of cars would be the obvious next topic. But I really don't know anything about cars. But I had a feeling this was bound to come up. Your Honor. Yes? Please append what the witnesses just said to her testimony. You mean the part about being a special car from overseas? Yeah. Well, if you like cars that much, then... That's not my point. Though, to be totally honest, I don't know what the point is either. Miss Meany, would you please fix your testimony?
Sure, whatever. My sister's new car was like a totally special model from England.
I yelled hold it pretty forcefully, but I don't actually know what to ask about cars. So, yeah, what am I supposed to pick for a topic? Let's start with this. Why are British cars good?
Like, huh?
They're expensive and their driver's seat is opposite to our cars here in the States. It would seem there's no benefit to owning one.
Like, huh?
This whole steering wheel on the right side thing, it's kind of goofy, isn't it?
What do you know? That sleek shape, the purr of the engine, the way it starts, and smooth handling, the raw feel and manual transmission, the cool breeze of the AC?
Forgive me. Her personality really changes at the drop of a hat. It's interesting, isn't it, Phoenix? Bit by bit, we're beginning to see the real contradiction behind this case. I actually kind of read that. But you might notice there's a thing that Phoenix mentioned, specifically about cars in the UK. As a fun fact, in the original Japanese version of this game, this fact would be entirely the other way around, because in that version, the car came from the United States. Now, what's the only thing that's special about the difference between a car from outside of the States and a car from inside of the States? Why does it specifically mention the duel? It is said that the driver died and the passenger escaped the car. In a car from the UK, the driver gets out the right door. Miss Meany, do you remember this article? It's an article about the accident. You had said this in it, but I opened the right door and, like, got out. That's correct, isn't it?
Like, why are you suddenly asking me about that?
Your Honor, which side is the passenger's seat? The left or the right? Well, it's on the right side, of course, because the driver's on the left side. That would be if it were an American car, but it would be the opposite in the British car. Opposite? The two of them were riding in a British car. In that case, the passenger side would be the left side. Ah! What do you mean by this? Miss Meany, you said that you had escaped using the right side door of the car, but if you were sitting there, then that means you were in the driver's seat.
Ah!
Order in the court. Order. Ugh. Mr. Phoenix Wright is babbling nonsense again. Eni said the person who was driving was herself. The person who was driving was her older sister, Mimi Meany. That is what Eni said, yes, but that is where her story falls apart. Somewhere, all of us made a big error in our assumptions. Phoenix, it looks like you finally found the real root of this murder. If we connect all the dots, there can only be one answer. I'd like to ask the court a question. Eni or Mimi, who was really driving that night? The answer is the one person who had her driver's license, Mimi. After all, that makes her the only person who could legally drive. But you just said the witness, Miss Eni Meenie, was the one in the driver's seat. Which leads to the next question. Next question? Who is the person standing on the witness stand right now? What sort of idiotic ruse is this, Mr. Wright? This witness's name is... I'll tell you what her name really is. The witness's real name is... Mimi Meenie. That is your real name. Of all the foolish dribble, then how do you explain her appearance? When she was admitted into the hospital, this witness was suffering severe facial burns, so for the purpose of facial reconstruction, they used a picture. Facial reconstruction surgery? This is the picture she gave to her doctors at the time. That's right! It's a picture of her younger sister. No! But Mimi Meenie, she died in the car accident. That's what everybody thought. However, that was not the case. Then the bodies they found at the crash site... That was the body of the real Eni Meenie. Isn't that right, Miss Mimi Meenie? That car accident 1 year ago, the one who died that night was Eni Meenie. Her sister Mimi then stole her face and was reborn as Eni. With this, she effectively erased Mimi Meenie from existence. Your Honor, I'm sure you can now see why Mimi had to kill Dr. Gray. What do you mean? What is the meaning of this nonsense? Dr. Gray wanted to call back the spirit of a dead person. Specifically, the spirit of his nurse that died in the crash, Mimi Meenie. However, that would not have been possible, because Mimi Meenie was still in fact alive. And that fact would have been discovered the moment the channeling had been conducted. So this witness had to stop that from happening. At all costs. And that's why she had to kill Dr. Turner Gray? Is that what you're saying? Yes. Before the channeling, Dr. Gray had the misfortune of consulting this witness about communicating with the dead. And in that moment, his fate was sealed. Well, Miss Eni, I mean, Miss Von Karma, why did you say my name just now? Looks like I've been unmasked. Witness? That's right, I admit it. My real name is Mimi Meenie. That quack doctor, he got what he deserved in the end. And I was so close to finally ditching Mimi, too. So close. But why? Why would you go so far to throw away yourself? To become your own sister? I think I understand why. Mimi Meenie wanted herself to disappear because of this. That's about the malpractice incident. Dr. Gray was right. The mistake was caused by the nurse, a nurse by the name of Mimi Meenie. That's right, the person standing before us today. And a few weeks after this mishap, Mimi Meenie had a car accident in which she lost her younger sister. The timing couldn't have been worse. 14 patients dying in that accident, and her own sister's life extinguished. It was all too much to bear. I found a way for myself to escape it all. The only way. She lost everything in the flames of that accident. Her sister, and even her own face. This was her last chance. Her chance to throw away her past and start a new life as her sister. Unbelievable. A plan beyond my wildest imagination. That jerk. If only he hadn't thought of the channeling mumbo-jumbo. Mumbo-jumbo? Becoming Amy has been the most horrible experience in the world. Spirit channeling, the occult. I hate it! I hate it all! I believe there is still a few unsolved riddles here. Why did you set a murderous revenge plot into motion? And why did Miss Morgan Fay agree to help you with the plan? Regardless, I believe one thing has been made crystal clear. The innocence of the defendant Maya Fay. This is preposterous! I'm perfect! Me, Franziska von Karma! I'm going to enjoy the news tonight, Miss von Karma. How about you? It's gonna be broadcast all over the world, right? Your defeat, that is. Ow! Ooh! Ah! Ow! Ah! And one more for good measure. That was fun. Phoenix! Hang in there, Phoenix! Phoenix! This court is a fraud, a sham! Now then, it looks like it will be some time before Mr. Wright regains consciousness, so I will go ahead and pronounce the verdict. Not guilty. It's not even on the screen anymore. That is all. The court is adjourned. Congratulations, Maya. Success? It's good to see you, Maya. How are you doing? Sis! I didn't kill anyone, did I? No, you didn't. It was all just a dream. A really bad dream. Really bad dream. You know, sis, in my dream I smelled a really familiar scent. A familiar scent? It was inside that clothing box, right? That box. That was the box you used to store your clothes in a long time ago. That's right. There's still one thing I don't quite get. What's that? What would have happened if Mimi hadn't shot Dr. Gray? I mean, we broke in because we heard a gunshot. I think Mimi had planned to open the door to the chamber herself. And then you and Lauder would have witnessed quite a scene. A possessed Maya Fay who had just committed a murder. She had it planned down to the smallest detail, huh? Nick! Congratulations, Maya. Thanks. Looks like you bailed me out of another jam. Well, you know. But I really don't want something like this to happen ever again. Huh? I'm fine because I have you to help me out, Nick. But every time something happens, I lose someone special to me. First my sister, and now my aunt. Hey, Nick, tell me. Tell me why my aunt went and did something so horrible. Why would she help Miss Mimi with a plan like that? I just don't understand it, Nick. Maya, it's over. Why don't we just let it be? Nick, please, I need an answer. The reason Morgan helped Mimi with her plan was... Pearly? 4 years from now, a new master will be born into Crine Village. And that person will be you, Maya. And? But if you weren't there, then the main family's bloodline would disappear, and what would happen then?
The Branch family, my aunt.
No, Morgan's spiritual power is too weak. The next person would be Pearl's. Ah! Everything was done for her sake. It was also that Pearl's would become the next master.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did Maya say something just now? I think that she was saying, I thought so. My precious Pearl, you are the only one suitable to be the master of Karine. Dear child, I sacrificed it all for you. I helped the brainless nurse carry out her murder and cooperated with that whip-happy prosecutor. It was all to unseat that annoying, witless main family girl, that Maya Fey. But I shall be patient, my dearest Pearl. A chance will present itself. Your time will come. Hey look, I ended the chapter! My god! So that's great. The next episode is Turnabout Big Top, and Turnabout Big Top is going to be interesting as hell, because I think it's the one case that most of the community admits that they hate. That was the end of Ace Attorney 2, Case 2. This has been Double Cross, streaming for Last Minute Continue, and I thank you for watching. You know when you do. See ya!